Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host. And today I have a real life rock star on. I think he goes to sleep with a guitar in his hands or something. Like he's literally a rock star. So make sure you do me a favor, share this out right now. Don't be selfish. Share it out and stay with me because I have the one and only John Melton on the show. See you in a minute. We are back. Let me bring John on. John, welcome back to Breakthrough Walls, buddy.
What's going on, man? Good to see you again. I like all the new graphics around the video. That's awesome. I don't think you had that last time.
Yeah, I don't think I did either. I may have just been getting started. I think it's been what's it been, 3 or 4 years ago that you were on the show? Yeah.
No.
I think so, dude. I should have researched that, actually. I thought about it.
That would have been cool, yeah.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Amelia is on. Welcome, Amelia. So, dude, I mean, you've already told your story, but I really kind of want you to recap a little bit, like tell everybody where you were born and raised, where it all kind of started for you. You have an unbelievable story. I do know of busting through some walls, like big time. So tell everybody where you're born and raised, a little about you.
Yeah, I grew up in Maryland, actually Annapolis, Maryland, to be exact. I now live in Clarksville, Maryland, which is about 40 minutes north. I was just talking to you about how we've got a couple beach houses down in Destin, Florida, but been all over the world, traveled all over the world, building businesses. And over the last, I would say, 10 years almost now, we started building online businesses. We started, doing the offline. We took the offline things that we were doing and started building online, learning how to build a personal brand, kind of like what you're doing right now, right? With with this show, starting a podcast, YouTube channel, crushing it on all things social media, especially Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the things. And just teaching people how to build businesses online like us, teaching people philosophies, strategies, how to monetize their social media. That's really our specialty. We've got some different training courses. We've got some different ways to make money. But the biggest thing is our social retail business that does millions and millions of dollars a month. We market world-class collagen, weight loss, health and wellness, supplementation, different things, and teach people how to essentially create curiosity, generate leads, and build a following using these different platforms. And, it's interesting because now there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, there was like a handful of options. Now you got short form video, long form video, podcast, Clubhouse, right? Facebook Live, Instagram Live, TikTok Live, LinkedIn, Pinterest. I mean, there's so many different ways. It's almost, and I'm sure most of us can agree, drop it to the comments and let us know if you feel like it's a little overwhelming with so many options and so many ways to get attention, but there's also a lot of competition. There's a lot of imposter syndrome going on, where we overthink things and we think we don't have anything of value to share with people. So why even bother?
Yep. Dude, well, that sums it up. Great show.
Yeah.
So, but I think about, because I know you guys, and it's literally public information. You put it right on your website that you went through a big lawsuit and all this insanity. And the kind of the what this show is about is like getting unstuck, getting through, because and I know. First off, it doesn't matter if it's a home-based business or it's a plumber or a seamstress. Owning and running a business can be challenging. When you guys started 10 years ago doing what you're doing now, what were some of the fears that you experienced and setbacks? Because we all have those, right?
Yeah.
You didn't own 2 beach houses 10 years ago in
No way.
Right? So what are some of the challenges you face that you feel like, man, I don't know if we're getting through this.
Well, we got started, and I say we because Nadia and I met in network marketing. She actually got started a little bit before I did, but that was 20 years ago. That was 2001. It was 2 weeks after 9/11. Actually, I got
Wow.
started in a home business, and I had no idea what I was doing. I had no background in business, no business being in business. I was broke, busted, and disgusted,
Yeah.
but I was very open-minded because I didn't want to go to school. I didn't like the idea of like, spending all this money and all this time learning about stuff I just didn't care about. And I felt like a loser. Like, is there something wrong with me? So when I found network marketing, direct sales, entrepreneurship, I was like, okay, this is something I can do. This is something I can be a part of. And, you can be from Yale or jail, they said. And I'm like, I've been in jail. So I've been, I've been down that road, and I want to do something with my life, and I don't want to be a criminal. I don't want to be an idiot. I don't want to, it's fine when you're 16, 17, make mistakes, whatever, but you start to grow up a little bit, and you're like, I don't want that life. I don't want to
Right.
be, addicted to drugs or worse, dead. And anyway, so the point is,
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends that I lost because of drugs and alcohol and different things. And actually, I don't want to forget this. I actually quit drinking 14 years ago because I knew that I couldn't be a leader, a good dad. I couldn't be a
Yeah.
good husband being hungover or drunk. And half the time I was a good time. The other half I'd black out and make really bad decisions, get in fist fights, all kinds of crazy things. So, finding personal development
Yeah.
and finding mentors at a very young age in my early 20s was everything I needed. Now, I didn't know I needed that. I just wanted to make some money. But, they
Yeah.
say you got to grow yourself if you want to grow your bank account. So I
Yeah.
just did it, followed, a system. Back then, it was more of a old school offline system. But then about 10 years ago, really it was February 2013, I uploaded my first video online. So almost 10 years ago, I started
Wow.
doing videos because we didn't want to have to chase the business. We wanted the business chasing us. We
Yes.
wanted to generate leads and learn this attraction marketing thing. But back then, our biggest adversity really was the fact that nobody else was doing it for the most part, at least not in our network. And our upline, our leaders are like, you guys are wasting your time online. It's not going to duplicate online. And I'm like, you might be right, but I'm gonna find out for myself because I don't want to have to do home meeting presentations and three-way calls till the end of time. Like, I want to figure out a way to work from home, or I'll just find something else to do because
Right.
this is for the birds. Like, I was never home. I started to feel like a bad dad. Now, you don't feel bad when your kids are like babies or, they're 3, 4, 5 years old, but when they start going to school and they're
Yeah.
getting home from school, getting off the bus, or you're picking them up from private school, whatever, and then you're like dropping them off with, grandma or grandpa or a babysitter, and then you got to go do meetings, and that's like
Yeah.
every single night. That's when it started to click for me. Like, my son just turned 18 this weekend.
Wow.
So I'm just grateful that almost 10 years ago when he was, 8, 9 years old, that I decided, you know what, we're going to build businesses from home and online. And, fast forward, where we're at now, we've obviously had a lot of success, but like you said, we've gone through a lot. We've been through a lot. We got sued for $2.5 million back in 2013 because our company at that time
Wow.
wanted to come after us and try to shut us down and stop us. And all that did was add fuel to the fire. All that did was tell me that, like, we're obviously doing something right. If we're that big of a threat and you're
Yeah.
that afraid of us, when the truth is they made money on us for 7 years. It's funny how,
Right.
like, you make money on someone for all these years and then they decide to go do something else. And I didn't like make up lies. I wasn't slandering them. I was simply telling my story, what my experience was. And I was getting a lot of attention because people are like, wow, I thought they were like millionaires and they're leaving and going somewhere else and they're doing something new. Like, that's concerning. And then, of course, one thing led to another. And a lot of those people, ended up following us, joining our team. Now, here's what's crazy, Ken, is we had this 18-month situation, this legal battle. We do the deposition, we settle, everything's done, good. And then a month later, the company we're with, the new company we're with, gets shut down by the FTC. And I'm like, dude, like, what in the world?
A
And we just
month?
joined
You said a month later?
a month after we settled.
Oh my
Vima, the
God.
company we were in at that time, got shut down by the FTC. And we're just like, dude, like, what is this? Like, God, tell me, like, am I not meant to do this? And it was crazy because we had just also joined Ray Higdon's mastermind for like 25,000. That was like the most money we'd ever invested. So
Right.
we're just like, what is this? But it was a blessing in disguise, because it was almost 7 years ago this month that the company was shut down. And then next month, it's 7 years that I've been with my social retail company. And, it's wild, because even when we joined the new company, we're still like, obviously limping in, like, I don't know about this. This is probably not going to work. This is, here we go again.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we ended up having a lot of success, and it was pretty quick. It was pretty quick, the success we had.
Yeah.
Yeah, like within 16 months, we were making over 100,000 a month, and that was the
Wow.
most money we'd ever made. But here's the truth: it wasn't 16 months. It was the 13, 14 years prior
Yep.
to joining that company that we established our credibility, developed our skills, our confidence, and we knew what we were looking for. We found what we didn't think we would be open to, we became open to, because our last company was shut down. So then we're like, okay, well, here's what we're now looking for, because I don't want to be a part of another shutdown. I don't want to be a part of another company that is very much like, the emphasis is on recruiting and making money, when at the end of the day, you should have a quality product that an end consumer is actually purchasing. Like,
Yeah.
hello, that should
Yeah.
be, you should
Right.
be like a predominantly, your
Right.
volume should come from an actual customer buying a product as an end
Thank
consumer.
you.
And that's what we
Yep.
created here. And, our team, on average, we bring in like 10,000 to 20,000 new customers a month using social media. So it's been pretty exciting.
I think we all admire and look up to Grant Cardone, and I had Grant on literally the day after he finished Undercover Billionaire. I had him on an interview, and one of the questions I asked him is, hey, what would be your advice to every business owner watching, every entrepreneur? What can they do right now to make the biggest difference? And he said, what you're doing right now, Ken, they need to learn how to do this. They need to learn how to use social media and do this. But it's hard when there's only 2 people watching. It's really hard, right? And hey, listen, man, I get shadow banned, I believe. There's times when I'm like, why am I even doing still today? Like, I'm like, why am I even doing this? But, I think that, and you teach this stuff too, man. I think that, I'd like to hear about when you first started doing this social media route and the videos, and like, how did you get past that imposter syndrome? Because that nobody was watching, or very few, right? In the beginning, like, how do you get through that?
I mean, I will say this: Nadia and I did a lot of public speaking. We did a ton of it before we started doing videos.
Yeah.
So we actually did have a pretty decent amount of influence and credibility, and there wasn't a lot of competition. Like, hardly anybody in our company was doing videos back then. So we actually got some pretty good feedback right away. We started having, a decent amount of views and all that, but it was still super awkward. Like, because back then it wasn't even live videos. So you'd like pre-record a video, dude, I was driving. I'd be driving and holding the phone. I mean, it was just horrible. But, we started to get some reinforcements, meaning, like, people would say, oh, that last video you did on recruiting was awesome, or that mindset video you did was great. And it kind of like boosts your confidence and momentum a little bit, because you're like, I'm gonna keep doing this. But of course, over time, everybody started doing videos, and you just got to get better. The bottom line is, and Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this, you either got to be the best, or you got to be the first. You got to be like one of the early pioneers of a new platform, a new strategy, whatever that looks like. And that's when it's the hardest, because everybody's like, that's dumb. What are you doing? You're wasting your time. You're wasting your money, whatever that thing is, whether it's social media or it's starting a new business or, pursuing a new career, right? It's always scary because you don't know what the heck you're doing. But the way I looked at it was, I didn't want to have to chase business. I don't have to I didn't want to have to find people to sell my stuff to. I don't have to find people to join my team. So I would rather spend the time, even though it was awkward, even though it sucked, even though I wasn't very good at it, and I was doing videos and they weren't doing well, or they weren't. And actually, even right now, we've got videos that don't do well. I mean, still today, especially because there's, again, Reels and TikTok, like, not LinkedIn. My LinkedIn posts are like crickets, or tumbleweeds are going by. I mean, it's horrible, right? But that same post on Facebook might get 600 likes and 100 plus comments. So it's just one of those things where you have to figure out which platform and or strategy you like the best.
Yeah.
And you got to go all in. It's going to be hard. It's going to be weird. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to suck. And there's going to be times where you second guess and quit, but quitting isn't going to get you any closer to your goals.
Nope.
And so many people are like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like doing that. I was like, who said anything about feelings? Like, look, I don't feel like working out every day, but I work out because I've now built up the habit and I'm disciplined. And I also know the benefits.
Yep.
So you have to figure out what works for you. And, I've got people that are like afraid of live videos. I'm like, okay, challenge yourself to do a live video every morning or every night for 5 minutes for the next 21 days. And you know what happens? 21 days to create a habit, right? They get into the habit of doing videos, and now their videos are like 15 minutes, 25 minutes. Now they can't shut them up, right? So
Yeah.
you really have to figure out a way to show up on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
Whether that's an Instagram stories, whether that's starting your own Facebook group, like what can you offer that can help other people, and how can you build a deeper connection with your following, your community? And there's, again, so many ways to do it. But the other problem is people are not willing to take risks. They're not willing to invest in themselves. I'll give you an example. People say, I want to build an online business. I'm like, okay, cool. You should go to Funnel Hacker next month in Orlando. They're like, oh, I can't afford that. I'm like, can't afford not to go then. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to go to Funnel Hacker, but it's an example. It's an example of an event that's coming up where there's going to be all these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9-figure business owners. Mostly the 9-figure business owners and 8-figure business owners are the ones talking on stage. But it's going to be a 4-day event teaching people how to build an online business. And there's probably going to be 100 different strategies that'll be taught at that event that people could then come back and change their freaking life. And people say, I don't have the money to go. It's like, probably all the more reason to go. In network marketing, same thing. I'll ask people, they'll say they're struggling, and I'm finding myself a little lost or confused or overwhelmed. And I always say, well, it's better to be overwhelmed than underwhelmed. But the truth is, I'm like, are you on the Saturday training calls? No.
Right.
Do you plug into the trainings that happen inside the team Facebook group, the training group? No. Are you having conversations with people? No. Well, of course you're struggling. How would you expect not to struggle when you're literally not doing anything with your business? So these are some of the things that I would think are common knowledge, but as we know, common sense ain't so common.
I think, if you ask the average person, like I spent $20,000 a year ago with Grant to be a part of his mastermind. Yeah. And which was the low end mastermind. I didn't go to the 150 grand one, but ask the average person, what are you reading right now? What book are you reading right now?
There you go.
The average person is not reading a book right now. They're not. Well, they're watching this.
Ken, there's a reason wealthy people have libraries.
Right. So I had Brian Tracy on the show, which was literally the pinnacle of my entire life because he changed me 30 years ago. But, I asked him, I said, dude, I mean, everybody can hear all this stuff, and there'll be a lot of people that hear all this, and a tiny little percentage will actually go, hey, you know what John said is true, and I'm going to start doing that. And I mean, it's going to be a tiny, tiny percentage, right?
Yeah.
How do you get, and I asked Brian this, and he's like, you can't change people. And I agree with that, but is there a way to get through to people, man? Because it literally keeps me awake at night. Like, how do you get through to these people that are on the struggle bus their entire life?
Yeah. Well, most people won't participate in their own rescue. They're their own worst enemy. And it's like Brian said, you can't change people. People have to change themselves. Nobody changed me. I changed me. Now, there were people that inspired me. There were people that believed in me before I believed in myself, like having mentorship and having, all these events that I went to and personal development, all the things. But I was hungry for the knowledge. Yeah. I was willing to study and learn and grow and suck. And mostly, I think my advantage was I didn't want to do anything else. That was a huge advantage for me, is that I didn't want to do anything else. There was nothing else I saw that I was like, oh, I'm going to become a realtor. I'm going to become, I don't know, a consultant, right? Like I'm going to become an accountant. I'm going to start my own restaurant. Like there was nothing else I wanted to do. Like I found the thing I liked doing, and I was and of course you don't, I mean, you look at your life in reverse, like you don't know these things are going to come to fruition. But I was
Right.
just like, I'm going to do it until it works. I'm going to, figure out a way to crack the code so that I can make money from home, because I loved working from home. I loved being at home with my kids, my wife. And I was just like, and I did the mortgage thing for about 4 years. I made a lot of money. I made about $600,000 in 4 years. I was a number one loan officer in a very large mortgage company in Baltimore. But Ken, I literally made 100 calls a day. I
Yep.
outworked everybody. So people were like, how are you closing 10 loans this month? And I'm only closing 2. I'm like, I made more calls based on the call logs, because they would post them every Friday. I'm like, I
Right.
made more calls this week than you made all month. This isn't
Right.
like rocket science. I just outwork your ass, And look, it's funny because a lot of these people, you got to wake up at 5 a.m. You got to do gratitude and work out and do all this. I don't wake up early. I don't. I get 8 hours of sleep. I might go to bed at 11 or 12. I wake up at 7 or 8. And I don't do anything before I get on my phone. I get on my phone immediately. I'm fired up to get on my phone. I can't wait to get on my phone, and I get all my shit done. Listen,
Yes.
I've already responded
Finally.
I've already responded to all my messages this morning. Okay, now the
Yep.
messages keep coming in, as you can see. It's never ending, right?
Yep.
But I've
Yep.
already responded to all my messages from yesterday, last night, whatever. I've
Yep.
already done a live video training inside of one of my groups. I'm doing this interview now. When I'm done with you, I'm going to go work out in my
Yep.
gym right there.
Yep.
My whole day will be done as far as like having to work or anything I need to do from yesterday, by the afternoon, plus a workout, plus you know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, I think people need to write down, number one, their goals or dreams, all that. Yeah, vision boards are all that's great. But it's like, what do you want your perfect day, week, month, and year to look like? What would that
Mm.
perfect day look like? What do you
Wow.
want your day to look like? And then reverse engineer that perfect day. And then eventually that perfect day turns into perfect week, perfect month. And by the way, you're still going to have problems. Life, right? Life is still going to happen. I never say this is easy or, you can do it. I don't know if you can do it.
Right.
I know I've seen people do it that are just like you, but they had to get over themselves. They had to snap out of that stinking thinking and just be like, you know what? Okay, I've learned enough at this point. I know enough at this point. I just need to do the shit I got to do to make this thing happen. And the truth is, this is one other thing. I think it was such a big deal for me in those early days to have someone that could redirect me and correct my stinking thinking, because it is tough that you can go to the seminars, listen to an interview like this, and be like, that was amazing. But if you don't actually have someone that can give you that guidance
Yep.
and can kind of like steer you, like at a young age, I had someone steer me in the right direction, because I would have a lot of excuses. And she would always say, look, you can make money or make excuses, but you can't do both.
Nope.
So she'd say, I'd be like, oh, this is that, and that's happening, and I got this going on. She's like, excuses are results. Excuses are results. Are you making an excuse or are you getting a result? Because that's all that matters at the end of the day. And it really helped me with, okay, yeah, I don't feel like doing this, or I'm not good at that. It's like, okay, and did you think you were just naturally going to be good at something you've never done before? I have to have this conversation with my daughter sometimes, because she has my personality. She's very competitive and she hates losing. Shocker. But,
Yeah.
we might be playing poker like we were this past week in Destin, right? We had a family vacation, and we're playing poker, and she's like frustrated. I don't want to play. I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play. I don't know what I'm doing. And she's like a really tight poker player, which is hilarious. She like never bluffs. So if she's in a hand, she's got something good. But the point is, she's 13. She has the same mindset with sports. I don't want to play. I suck at that. I suck at this. I suck at poker. It's like, no, it's not that you suck at stuff or you don't like it. Just say, I don't like sports. I don't like poker. I'm like, no, you hate sucking at it. You hate not being good at something. But how
Mm.
can you ever expect to be good at something that you haven't done over a sustained period of time? Sports is a great example. So I always go to sports because I played basketball, I played football, I played some different sports, and I realized I did not like those things. I sucked at them and I didn't care to get good at it. But you know what? I was pretty good at baseball.
Yeah.
And it was a sport that I decided to do and play a lot because I enjoyed it and I wanted to get good at it. And it was something I liked getting good at. Does that make sense? Like I
Yep.
remember making my brother, this is terrible, making my brother play catch with me in the backyard. And this is before he could really catch that well, and I was starting to throw hard. So
Oh,
it wasn't enjoyable for him, but I made him. Now he of course got good, right? Because he had no
right.
choice. He's like, if I don't
Yeah.
catch it, it's going to kill me. But
Right.
I made him play catch with me because it was something I wanted to get good at. And I think all of us need to find what that thing is where you don't need someone to pump you up and motivate you. You automatically have that inspiration every day to show up and do the work. And by the way, for some of you, you might need to wake up at 5 a.m. and do gratitude and personal development for an hour before you get to work. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying there isn't just this one way to do it. I'm just saying there's other ways to make it happen. You have to figure out what works best for you. You could hear Ken, myself, and 10 other gurus, mentors, experts, successful people share their tips and advice, and they're all going to have different things that they do and say. Doesn't mean one's right, one's wrong. It's just what's best for you.
Yep. Geez, man, I love we need to have you on like every day or so. I mean, just do, because you're filled with a lot of wisdom, man. I think that, and we all hear this, you know, should I say this publicly? Okay.
Definitely. If you're not sure you should say it, you should say it.
I don't like the whole start with why movement.
Yeah.
And I just don't. And because I don't know that, I mean, when I started my business, why wasn't even, I just needed to pay child support and eat. Mm-hmm. Like there was, you know, and I never thought, well, this is my why. And I'm going to go knock on 100 doors today because, you know, I want to build a multi-million-dollar company. That had nothing to do with it. So am I wrong in your opinion?
No, I talk about this in my trainings. I'm like, you don't need a why that makes you cry. I don't believe in that. But I do think you should have a reason why you're doing something that you could share with other people. But like for me, I thought I just wanted to make money, right? You're like money motivated when you don't have any money. People are like, you're money motivated. Not really. I'm actually freedom and lifestyle motivated. I want freedom. I want lifestyle. I like choices. Right. That's my thing. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got the thing that they you know, that drives them. And I think it is important to have a reason you're doing what you're doing so that you can share it with other people. And I do think when you're thinking about quitting, remember why you got started, like all that's great. But I don't like I never had a why that made me cry. I just had like the fact that, and like I said before, I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to get a degree. I didn't want a job and work for somebody else, but I didn't know there was options. So when I saw an option, I'm like, that's the thing I want to do. That looks like more fun to me. That looks like something that I could get on board with. And of course, you know, again, like I said before, you get a little bit of, you know, results, you start to experience some success, and all of a sudden it's like you get addicted, you get excited, you know, and then from there you start to discover your purpose. You start to discover what you want to accomplish. And of course, over time, your why can expand, it can enhance, it can become something that you find more important. Like for me, I like being at home with my kids. You know, I like, you know, being home with my dogs, like with Nadia. I like knowing that if I don't feel like working, I don't have to work. I like knowing that I can, you know, work out from home. I can get in the sauna. I can go date night. I can travel. I can, you know, like I could have done this interview down in Destin. We almost considered staying in Destin for a few extra days, but we really wanted to get back, just, you know, be at home, kids, whatever. We were down there for a week. I like to have options. And sometimes, you know, the other problem too, Ken, is people are celebrating or enjoying the good life before they deserve it. Yeah. That might sound harsh, but it's like, I see some people, it's like they just launched their business like, you know, 3 weeks ago, and they're already going on a vacation and they're already like taking off on the weekends. And I'm like, I'm not saying you can't make it happen and have the balance, but not when it's a brand new business. Like to me, it's like, you got to go all in for at least 90 days, probably a couple years, to really build up something that can stand the test of time. But if you're kind of like pacing yourself and you're just kind of jogging, it's not going to grow the way you want it to. Like, oh, it's the summertime, you know, kids are out of school, and oh, it's the holidays. It's time to, you know, relax and enjoy my life. And it's like, that's what that's how an employee thinks. That's not how a business owner thinks, especially if you got to know where you're at in your what stage you're in, what season you're in. And if your business is where you want it to be, now if you're happy and you're good, well, then forget this conversation, right? But if you're not where you want to be, it's up to you to make a decision to go all in and, you know, double down on your marketing, double down on your prospecting, double down on your personal development and working on yourself, and really show up in a way that you know, you'll deserve the success that you desire.
I mean, last night I was up till almost 3 o'clock in the morning working. I'm still behind, and I've owned a business for most of my adult life, and so I can't relate to people that don't give it everything. I don't
Yeah.
understand that. And you've been there. You've recruited, I'm sure, tens of thousands of people into your business, and it's like, or attracted rather, not recruited, but and you see somebody, you think, oh, this guy's gonna freaking kill it, man, and they don't.
Yeah.
Or I don't even want to waste my time on that one, they're not gonna do anything, and then they explode, and there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Right.
Let me ask you a question that I probably asked you before, but I'm gonna ask it again. There's a stigma around network marketing.
Yep.
We know what that is. When somebody says, "Oh, I'm not joining one of those pyramid schemes," how do you handle that? How do you address that with people that have um, that negative feeling about network marketing?
I agree with them. I'm like, you're probably right, because most of them are pyramid schemes. Most of them, it's all about, you can't make money without recruiting. That's the problem with most MLMs. And that's the reason my last company was shut down. It was all about recruiting and making money. And it wasn't about an end consumer buying a product. And when you look at my business today, 85% of our revenue comes from customers. 85%.
Wow.
So the truth is, most companies are glorified pyramid schemes. It's all about, like, who do you know that wants to make money? Who do you know that wants to get in, and get rich? And that's not most people. That's a very small percentage of people that want to make money. That will even watch a podcast like this, take notes, be an entrepreneur. But there's a lot of people out there that want to lose weight. There's a lot of people out there that want to look younger, feel better. They've got some joint pains, or they got some hair loss, and they want to, like, slow down the aging process. There's a lot of people out there that brush their teeth, wash their hair, wash their clothes, wash their dishes. And we have products, at least in my company, that solve those problems, that don't have all the nasty chemicals. And we have, like, I think we're up to like 90 products in North America, or in like 25, 30 different countries all over Europe, India, Australia, New Zealand. So this is something that we've built up over time. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're having a lot of success, but we started out with just a narrow product line. We started out with a handful of products that we were promoting, and still today we only promote a handful. It's like we have this collagen product, we have this weight loss product called Trim. We have coffee, we have skincare. There's like some hero products, but we teach people how to market the products, how to generate leads, generate sales, make money just getting customers. But what happens is they end up building up some confidence. They start building up, some success and momentum in their business. And then they maybe start recruiting, and it happens naturally. And we still call it recruiting. I mean, we can change, partnering with people, enrolling people. But at the end of the day, we are recruiting someone that wants to make money. And then our goal is to help them make money, because if they don't make any money, then it's a waste of our time too. Like, my whole goal is to help someone, like my top earners, earn 6, and even some of them 7 figures. But I make money on their customers. They make money on their customers. And it's kind of funny, because that's every business in the world. Like, sometimes people are like, in my business, I don't have anyone under me and I make money. And it's like, yeah, but people are making money on you. Your manager makes money on you. Your upline makes money. Like, someone's making money on you, or they wouldn't be paying you 30, 40, 50,000 a year. If they weren't making money on your efforts, they wouldn't be paying you accordingly. But with all that being said, they're at the bottom of the pyramid. Nobody's under them. If they don't work, they don't get paid. But at the end of the day, I think the problem is with most of these MLMs, it is about recruiting, and you can't make money without it. I've got people on my team that earn a full-time income just selling the products. They earn a 5-6 figure income. And 6 figures is rare, right? That's not like a normal, it's not like, oh, we got all these people making 6 figures, selling product, but we do have people like that on our team. But it's kind of like we were talking about before. They've built the following.
Yep.
They show up on social media. These are moms that have lost, I have a woman on my team. She lost 90 pounds in 11 months. So she's sharing her story, and dude, she can't catch up with her inbox, because people relate to her. They know her, they see her results, and they can't help but reach out with curiosity, of course.
Yep. That's brilliant. I think you and I talked one time about, I'm like, I could never work with a company, represent a company be recruited into a company where I can't believe in the product first. Like,
Absolutely.
if I don't believe in and I think that here's the problem.
That should be common sense, but it's not, because people are like, how do I make money? I just want to make money. And it's like, yeah, but don't you want to know about the product? Like, product doesn't matter. The comp plan's the product. Like, no, it's not.
God.
That's not. Yeah. And then we wonder why people don't like MLM. That's why.
Right. Well, I think here's the biggest problem. You tell me if I'm wrong. I think there are so many people that do network marketing that think people are stupid, and they're not. They're not.
I think a lot of them are also stupid. That's the other problem. And here's the problem with network marketing is that anybody can do it, which is like a cool thing. Like, anybody can do it if you're 18 or 88 or even from Yale or jail. But some of these people probably should be in jail. Some of these people, I mean, my last upline in my previous company, actually my two previous companies, actually I could actually say all three, because my last company, the guy I enrolled with, was definitely a terrible human. I didn't know that until I got to know him, and I saw how his business worked and how he sold these leads to people that were crap and they were overpriced, and that was where he's making most of his money. I didn't know that until I was in 6 months. Now it's like too late. So it's actually a blessing in disguise. My last company was shut down. The other upline I had, they straight up were like drug dealers prior to ACN. Now, I didn't know this. And Google wasn't a big thing back in 2006. So until we were like a few months in, we were like, wait, they were like mastermind, kingpin drug dealers? Well, that's awkward. And the upline I had before that, now this was my upline, but still, like, she's in jail for life for a hit and run at an airport. So, like, there's some people that absolutely should not be in network marketing. But the truth is, there's not like a licensing process. You don't need like you know what I'm saying? Like, you could literally, we would make the joke, you'd be from Yale or jail. But that's also kind of like not funny, because there's people in network marketing, they're not good people, that fundamentally, they don't care about people. They just want to make money on people or off of people, right? And that's, again, that's why people don't like network marketing. So when people tell me like their story and why they don't like it, I'm like, what do you mean you don't like it? And they tell me, I'm like, I understand why you don't like it. I too don't like 95% of the companies out there and their business practices.
You know, Tom says drug dealers are network marketing experts. That's true. But think about, I mean, the same thing. And that's where it gets me, is like, dude, take responsibility for your freaking life, man.
Yeah.
Like there are people in corporate America that shouldn't be in corporate America. A lot, actually. There are politicians that, I mean, the list is endless. So I don't think, I think network marketing is an easy target, maybe in some ways, but
it's a low barrier of entry. That's the problem.
It's
a low barrier of entry. You know, you ever seen Bar Rescue?
Yeah.
You see these people that own bars and restaurants, right? And what's the guy's name that yells at everybody? Like, a lot of those, John something, a lot of those people probably should not own their own restaurant. They should not run a food and beverage company of any sort, right? No. So, it is what it is. There's a lot of people that are out there, and you hit the nail on the head with politicians, people that are in different lines of work, and they don't have integrity. They don't have character. They don't have the same values. And I actually will not work with people like that, even if they're on my team. Like, I don't want to be associated with people that are crooked, that are, they don't have values and good intentions. We always tell people, who are you looking for? What are the best kind of people to enroll? I'm like, people that have WHIP, WHIP. They have work ethic, hunger, integrity, and if they have this one, personal power, that's the best. They have some influence, some credibility coupled with those other three, then that's a good person to bring to the table.
Let me ask you, and we can wrap this up here in a few minutes or so, but let me ask you this, because again, it goes back to I have this desire to help people get out of their own crap and into their power, right? And I know you do as well, and Nadia, and so, in your opinion, and number one answer to this question is fear, by the way. So you gotta do better than that. But what is stopping people, man? okay, what holds people back from real financial success in life and freedom and happiness? And I think those two things are related, because I've been broke and homeless, and I've been wealthy, and wealthy is better. So
Yeah.
what holds people back in life from getting everything they want and having that freedom?
Discipline. So many people are undisciplined. It's just like such a big deal. It's like I said, I have my perfect day figured out at this point. Like, I know what I want to do. I know how I want to show up. And of course, again, this is 20 years in the making. So, it
Yep.
takes time to develop the skills and the wherewithal, and to kind of know, like, what's working, what's not working, know where to focus your energy and your time. But that all stems from discipline, work ethic, consistent effort, and not just being consistent, consistently getting better. Like, people will say, "Oh, I'm not getting any views, or I'm not generating leads." I'm like, "You need to get better. Stop being bitter. Don't be bitter, get better.
Mm.
Don't be frustrated, get fascinated. Say, why are other people getting, better engagement on their social posts? Why are other people having success?" And not to be whatever, but it's like, if you look at them, you look at you should be able to pinpoint some things like, "Oh yeah, they have better lighting when they do their videos," or they're funnier than I am, or they've done a lot more videos than I have, or they've gone through more rejection than I have, or they've been at
Yeah.
it longer. There's so many different variables, but again, discipline, a lack of discipline, a lack of commitment is a big problem with people.
Tom, I love what Tom says. Discipline is with intentionality. I think that's another thing is I don't, I mean, I have goals, obviously, and I write my goals down. I have targets and all of that. But do you think that people underestimate what they're capable of?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody thinks too small. I never thought I would make money like this. Ever, 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 ever. I never thought I could make money like this. I went from multiple six figures a year to multiple six figures a month. Never in my wildest dreams could I have imagined that. But that also, I'm also glad it took me 16 years to get to this point, because if it didn't take as long as it did, I wouldn't have as much gratitude and appreciation for what we created. So it's
Yeah.
like one of those things, right? It's like, when you're going through it and you're in it, and you don't know for sure, you don't have a guarantee, right? We say you got
Right.
to faith it till you make it, not fake it till you make it, but faith it till
Faith
you
it.
make it. And
I
it's
love
so
that.
easy to say that when you're on the other side of it, and
Yeah.
you've arrived to some extent. But it's not like once you get there, once you've arrived, it's just easy. It's not. It's like, I was listening to this one podcast, and the guy's like, "I want to own the whatever baseball team, the Atlanta Braves or whatever,"
Yeah.
and the woman's like, "Yeah, okay, that's cool, but do you think that one day when you get to that pinnacle point and you own," or no, it was the Cleveland Indians. He wanted to own the Cleveland Indians. She's like, "Do you think, like, once you get there, then you're done, you're like good, it's like, it's easy?" And he's like, "Well, no, I guess not." She's like, do you think people hate the current owner?" He's like, "Yeah, actually, a lot of people hate him." Like, "Do you think that, like, they'll love you?" Like, "Oh, wow, I guess not." It's like, so just, like, enjoy your life now. Like, it's cool that that's your goal and dream one day, but, like, don't wait until that happens for happiness, because number one, you'll probably never own the Indians in reality, right? But number two, it's not like once you get there, it's like, oh, it's like, now that we have these beach houses, it's awesome, but it's not like they're problemless. Our neighbor just found out she's got termites, right? Now, luckily, we just had, like, our termite inspection a
Yeah.
handful of months ago before the summer months. We have insurance for it. She doesn't. But it's like,
Oh.
she's got this multi-million-dollar home, and now she's got to do this whole, like, termite thing. The point is, it's
Uh,
not like once you, like, build this multi-million-dollar business, all problems disappear. You just have different problems.
yep.
You have bigger problems because you're making more money.
Yep.
Mo money, mo problems. We've all heard the Jay-Z song, right? It's like,
Yep.
mo money,
Yep.
mo problems. So bigger the problem, bigger the bank account, bigger the paycheck. That's just how
Yeah.
it goes. So just, like, love where you're at, but also embrace the fact that, like, it is a journey, it is a process, and don't get caught up in comparing your chapter 5 to someone else's chapter 15. We all
Thank
have
you.
our own success,
Yeah.
and success looks different for everybody. That's the other thing too, right? Some people,
Yeah.
maybe they don't have financial success, but they have true joy and happiness and fulfillment with what they do for a living. And it might be, school teachers, nurses, people that, yeah, they're not financially well off, but they love what they do. And if that's the case and they're happy, hey, more power to them.
So, what in you've been with how many? 3 different companies, you said?
Yeah, I'm on my first one went out of business. My last one got shut down, and then I was with the company for 7 years. So this is my 4th company in 20 years. But I've been with this company for 7.
Okay. What company? Tom asked what company. Do you mind
No,
sharing?
it's Modare.
Okay.
Yeah, Modare.
So there's something to be said about that, because I love people that say, make fun of people who've lost businesses, or who say, oh, here he goes again, he's trying another company, or he's trying another business, or and that's ridiculous. Like, who in the world do you think you are? Like, that's called life, man. Like, you don't stop.
Absolutely. The average
Right?
millionaire started 11 companies before they hit it big, before they became a millionaire. Now, that doesn't mean you should have a goal of like, all right, these first 3 that I'm starting, I hope they all go out of business so I get closer to 11. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg started 1 company, still
Right.
pretty good.
He's
So
done all right. Yeah.
it's ideal to not have to start 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. But at the end of the day, giving up again, every time you fail, you learn. So there is no real failure unless you quit. So when someone says, oh, I did one of those network marketing things, I got burned. Those things don't work. And it's like, well, are you banned from network marketing? They're like, what do you mean? No, I'm not banned. Because I do know some people that are banned. But
Yeah.
I'm like, are you banned from network marketing? Like, no. I'm like, so why aren't you doing it anymore? Like, well, the last company went out of business, or the last one didn't work out. It's like, I'm confused. So did you end up accomplishing your goals and dreams somewhere else, doing something else? Well, no. Oh, so you just gave up on your dreams and goals. Got it. Because there's never a network marketing failure. There's only network marketing quitters. But again, back to my other point, is that that's also because a lot of those businesses are not like ethical. They're not legitimate opportunities, because it's all about recruiting. But there are some good companies out there. Obviously, I think mine's the best, but of course I'm biased. There are other companies out there where you can make money and you can build a true customer base and you can help more people. It's just being open to it. And it doesn't have to be network marketing. It could be traditional business. You could start a restaurant, it goes out of business. That doesn't mean you should never start a restaurant. It's just that one didn't work. But the next time you do it, you'll be better off. You'll know more than you did the last time around. Same thing could be said about marriage, right? Half the marriages end up in divorce. If you get divorced, or let's say you don't even bother getting married because you're worried about getting divorced. What a horrible way to look at it, right?
Terrible.
So like Nadia, thank God she got divorced, because if she didn't get divorced, I wouldn't have met her and married her. Now I only had 1 marriage, so I'm happy to say that, like, I haven't dealt with the whole D. But the point is, sometimes you have to go through some things so that you know what to look out for, you know what to avoid, you know what you want. And that holds very true, very, very true in business. And every time you start something new, every time you're doing something that you've had some experience in before, even if it was a bad experience, you still have experience, which is better than where you were when you first attempted that same type of thing, whether it's business, relationships, a job, a career, a sport, whatever it is.
I mean, it's like you brought up a restaurant. I think the number's like 80%, but that fail in their first year.
So don't even bother.
Yeah.
80%. What a terrible way to live your life. I'm not going to do anything because I don't want to fail at anything. Like, that's makes no sense.
You just hit it, dude. I think that's the number one reason people stay stuck in life right there.
Yeah.
They don't try because they're afraid that what if I do all the work? What if I read 100 books and my life still sucks?
Yeah. Well, people don't want to get their hopes up. And, it's easy to listen to a podcast and, take action, but it's easier not to.
Yep.
It's easier just to watch Netflix. It's easier to eat, candy bars than apples. It's easier to, not work out than it is to work out. So it's just, every day you have choices. Every day you have these opportunities, and, it's all how you look at it. It's your perspective.
It is. So let me ask you about what you guys are doing now. You have a training company, and you train, look, Joe Ingram, he said, did you just say I'm scared? So, but you guys, like, talk about what you do. Cause you're not like just training people in your business. You train, other people too, right?
Yeah. We've got some training courses. I mean, like right now we're promoting this affiliate offer. We're doing so Ray Higdon has his Top Earner Success School. It's like $99 for 6 weeks. So we've probably had over 100 sales, and there's upsells and different things. Before that, we were promoting Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi's, big thing that they launched. So, we'll launch our own stuff. We'll promote other things that we believe in. We got to believe in it for us to promote it to our network. But that's investing is probably the biggest thing next to, our social retail Modere business. Next to that, it would be investing is probably actually our second biggest income stream. Just because we've been doing so much of it over the last 5 years, whether it's with Ty Lopez or my buddy Tim Bratz kind of does what Grant does with apartment buildings and stuff like that. And then we've got, our portfolio that we created 4 or 5 years ago because we went to a Tony Robbins business mastery event. So we got that all set up with creative planning. We have, Forex trading and gold trading fund accounts. We have like all these different things. That's definitely our second, source of our second tier behind our network marketing business for income. But we still, even though we don't do it like we used to, we still have courses and, different things. Like we'll have like this 6-week boot camp that we'll launch in September. We call it money, marketing, and something else mastery. So we'll do different things that we'll launch. That's actually with 2 of my partners. They're very, very sharp and very, very good at what they do. And it's just, again, for me, it's all about things that I believe in that don't take up too much of my energy, my bandwidth, my sanity, right? Brendan Burchard always talks about the sanity factor, because there's a lot of things I could say yes to. I could launch more things, sell more things, do more, but then it's just more responsibility, more stress, more work. I don't want more things that take up my time, my energy, and my attention and distract me from what I'm already mostly focused on, where 95% of our income comes from. And then the other 5%, 4% of that 5% comes from our investments, So, and actually I should sit down one day and actually look at the percentages, because I think the investments are much higher than just 4 or 5% of our overall income. But it's exciting to turn what I like to call your active income into passive income streams. I think Grant Cardone is probably one of the ones that talks about that the most. But you got to learn how to make money, because you can't. People are like, well, I don't have money to invest. I know that. So you need to figure out how to make money first before you get caught up in like, what am I going to do with this extra $600? Like, invest it in yourself.
Right.
If you have less than $5,000 to invest, you should be investing that in yourself, truthfully.
And
that's my opinion.
How should they invest?
I mentioned the funnel hacker event, right? That funnel hacker event is like $800 ticket.
Yeah.
But that's 4 days. So between the ticket, the flight, the hotel, could be a few $1,000s, but that few $1,000s will be a better investment than, what are you going to do with $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 really? You could do something risky. I'm going to buy an altcoin and hope it goes up. Yeah, that's gambling. That's gambling, right? Anything like that is anything that has like 300% returns. Could it also go to 0? Yeah, that's gambling. So it depends on the person. Everybody's different, but I still think when you're investing in yourself, you're investing in your business, you're investing in your personal development. In my case, I invest a lot of money into my team, so I would rather invest in things that can help me make more money.
Yep.
But not looking at it like, hey, I've got this 3,000. Let me turn it into 300. The best way to turn 3,000 into 300,000, as an example, would be you growing a business, making profits in a business. But it's going to take money to make money in most cases.
I'm sure you realize you said it, but I'm going to remind you. You said it early on. I think the real secret is what you said you did in the mortgage business when people were envious of you and jealous. John, how is it you're closing 10 mortgages this month and I'm only doing 1 or 2? And you're like, dude, I freaking outworked you. Nothing in the world can take the place of that. Nothing. And people and I know you know this, and I'm sure you teach this, but don't confuse being busy with being productive, right?
Amen. Yep.
Too many people say, well, I worked all day at the computer. Dude, you were surfing Instagram and Facebook all day.
That's not scroll hole. Yeah.
Right. Like, get some stuff done. Like, really put in some freaking work. Go knock on doors, make 100 calls, do whatever you have to do. John, you're brilliant, man. So your website is, I have it as mylifestyleacademy.com. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that where people can get some training from you and Nadia?
Yeah, that has our YouTube, our blog, our podcast, some of our best free resources, the guides, all the things. Like we have this social media prospecting and recruiting guide, which is more so geared towards network marketers, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's social media marketing, it's scripts, it's some different strategies that we teach. So yeah, our website has all the goods.
I think, and this goes to anybody listening, first off, you and your wife are two of the most successful network marketers in the world. And you have a massive following on social media. I think that everybody listening, hear this. There's a book written by a guy named Alan Pease called Questions Are the Answers. And it's a tiny little book. He's from Australia. I bought this book many years ago. And I read it, and I wasn't in that. I've never been in network marketing per se, right? But I read this book and I'm like, holy crap, this applies to everything in life. Like, this isn't like, he gives examples of network marketing, but it applies to business. And I literally would buy this book and give it to my salespeople that I hired in my company. And,
smart.
Right. Because it's like, dude, you've got like these principles that you and Nadia are teaching apply no matter what business you're in. It doesn't have to be network marketing or home base. Like,
well, what's interesting is a lot of people that are successful in business got their start in network marketing. That's where they were introduced to Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, right? All these different, gurus or whatever. And it's how Russell Brunson, who I was talking about, we're going to Funnel Hacker next month. Like, that's how he got started, was network marketing. So it's definitely a good foundation. That the philosophies are very congruent with, not just business, but like you said, life, just in general. It's like, just opens up your perspective and your mindset to things that, like, typically people have this fixed mindset and they're just stuck in their own way. And it's just how we always did it. Another day, another dollar. It's like, it doesn't have to be like that though. You're not a tree. You can make changes. Like, you have choices. It's funny.
Oh my God. That's so true. Holy crap. So, all right. Is there anything else you want to share with the world? Promote something, get everybody. And let me say this before, because you said you have a lot of free resources. So my friend Jeffrey Gitomer has a saying, stop being a cheap bastard. That's his saying. This is what it means. Like, until I stopped looking for the free ride, until I stopped looking for, I can look it all up on YouTube and get it for free. And I started investing in myself, cash money. Take money out of your bank and give it to John, and learn how to do this properly. Learn how to maybe do it a different way that you've never even considered, but take money and invest it in yourself. It was a magical moment for me once I realized I need to spend money to make money.
Yeah.
So
no, it's 100% true. Some of the biggest investments we made, masterminds, coaching, courses, like, I can't tell you how many $2,000 courses Nadia went through. She did a lot of that stuff. I wasn't as big on that as she was, because it would be kind of like, I'm out there, doing the do every day, and she's on the back end figuring out the more complicated things. So we were always a good 1-2 punch, and people always say, I need me a Nadia. And I'm like, I agree. Like, I'm definitely blessed to have an incredible partner. I think that's again, it's all these little things. Although that's a big thing. That's actually a big thing. But there's a lot of little things that make the big difference. But at the end of the day, we've invested a lot of money into our self-development, into strategies, skills, masterminds, courses, all those things. And it's always come back, even if it didn't come back right away, but you would like look back and go, oh, back then when I was learning that thing, and I can like bring that out of the memory bank, if you will, and, utilize or implement those things that at the time didn't make as much sense as they did later on. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. The investment in yourself is always going to get you an ROI.
Amen. Amelia wants to know the name of your book, or the book you were.
I think it's the book you mentioned.
Oh, that book. Oh, I left that up. I was thinking she meant something. Questions are the answers. I don't even know if they sell it anymore, to be honest, but it's a tiny little book. But what about you guys? You guys have books, right?
No. Mm-mm. We
You
just have
haven't
our
written a book?
we have our ATM Business Academy course.
Okay.
And that's how we teach people how to use the ATM system, ad tag message. We use private groups so if someone says, hey, I'm interested in your products, we add them to the product group. Hey, I'm interested in learning more about your business, we add them to the business group. And that's how we built our entire business versus doing Zooms and webinars and calls and all these things. We add people to a group, we tag them in the videos, we tag them in the information, we send them a message on Messenger. Hey, I added you to the group. Let me know when you accepted. I'll tag you in some information and I'll follow up with you tomorrow on Messenger. So most of what we do is through Facebook Messenger. And it's great because you can record something, send them a 3-minute audio clip. They have that forever versus getting on a call. I might say some amazing things on a conference call, but nobody's going to record it, go back and listen to it. You know what I mean? In the same way that you can just click on a little audio clip. So we love doing that stuff, but we created an ATM Business Academy, and again, we do some different things that we launch, but yeah, I'm not saying we'll never write a book, but I'm not as worried about having books and all, because that's not our primary focus. Our primary focus is our social retail business.
So awesome, man. John, I appreciate you coming back on today. You're amazing. You're filled with a lot of wisdom, man. A lot of wisdom. So everybody watching or listening to the replay, watching the replay, make sure you follow John and Nadia Melton and go over to mylifestyleacademy.com. And that's where all of your social media is linked there and everything, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You can get in touch with me 5, 6, 7, 10 different ways.
If you can't figure out how to get hold of John Melton,
Don't bother.
Just give up. There's no hope for you.
How do I find him? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, my YouTube, my email. Yeah, it's like so many ways. Hilarious.
It's awesome. All right. Hey, cool. Everybody have a great day. John, thank you again, man. I appreciate you coming on. Make sure you guys go follow John. Go to mylifestyleacademy.com. Thank you, dude.
Thanks, Ken. Later, guys.
See you guys.